There comes a moment in life, often after 70, when you realize something powerful. You've spent decades taking care of everyone else. You followed the rules, showed up, gave and gave and gave. But now, the world feels a little quieter. And for the first time, you have space to ask, what do I want? This next chapter isn't about slowing down. It's about living on your terms. And it starts with letting go of guilt and embracing the simple joys you've denied yourself for too long. Because happiness isn't selfish. It's overdue, and you've earned every moment of it. Savor the foods you love, without the guilt. After all these years, you've earned the right to eat what makes you happy and to enjoy it without apology. But for many of us, that's easier said than done. We've spent a lifetime being told what we should eat. No salt, low fat, skip dessert, order the salad, hold the bread. Sound familiar? And so we listened. We pushed away the birthday cake. We passed on the buttery mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. We felt guilty over a second slice of pie, even when it tasted like a memory. But here's the truth. Food is more than nutrition. It's joy. It's love. It's connection. It's the smell of cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning. It's your grandmother's cornbread recipe. It's hot coffee with real cream at 7 a.m. on a quiet porch. The day may come, and it often does, when your doctor says no more sugar, or your body simply can't handle certain foods. Your appetite may fade, your taste buds may dull. When that happens, you'll look back and wish you had let yourself enjoy the simple pleasure of a shared meal, or a slice of homemade peach cobbler. This doesn't mean eating with reckless abandon, but it does mean releasing the shame. Want the bread? Have it. Want dessert? Share it with a friend and savor every bite. Around the world, some of the longest living people in Italy, France, and Japan eat with joy, not guilt. They take their time, they eat together, and they celebrate food as one of life's greatest gifts. So stop measuring your worth in calories or portion sizes. Start measuring joy in smiles, in memories, in moments around the table. Because life is short, and the cake is worth it. Sleep in, nap often, and stop feeling guilty about it. Let's be honest. How many years of your life did you wake up before the sun, rush through your morning, and power through exhaustion like it was a badge of honor? Decades, probably. You woke up at 5:30 a.m. to pack lunches, catch the 7 train, get the kids off to school, or clock in at your job on time. And if you ever dared to sleep in or take an afternoon nap, someone, maybe even your own inner voice, called you lazy. But that was never true. Here's what we know now. Sleep is not weakness. Sleep is medicine. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for your brain, your body, and your spirit, especially after 70. Research shows that getting enough quality rest helps protect against memory loss, heart disease, depression, and even falls. And yet, many older adults still feel guilty about sleeping too much. Don't. Think about it. When a baby takes a nap, we call it adorable, necessary, healthy. So why is it any different when you do it? If anything, your body has earned every extra hour under those soft cotton sheets and every peaceful moment in that recliner. Some days your joints ache, your mind runs in circles, your energy dips by 2 p.m. That's not laziness. That's your body whispering, slow down, I need this. So go ahead, turn off the alarm. Stay in bed until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Take a 30-minute nap after lunch. You don't have to deserve rest by checking off a to-do list first. Rest is reason enough. The happiest, healthiest seniors aren't the ones who grind through fatigue. They're the ones who listen to their bodies and give themselves permission to pause. You've spent a lifetime rising early for everyone else. Now let yourself rest. For you. Splurge a little. You've earned the right to enjoy. Let me ask you something. How many times have you picked something up at the store? A cozy sweater, a piece of jewelry, a little kitchen gadget, only to put it back because you told yourself, I don't need this? How many times have you skipped the dinner out, the concert, the weekend getaway because it felt too indulgent? Now let me flip that question. What exactly are you saving for? If you're like many people, you've spent a lifetime being responsible. You clipped coupons, watched every dollar, and put your needs behind those of your kids, your spouse, your job. And yes, being smart with money matters. But joy matters too. And no bank account, no budget spreadsheet, no perfectly timed retirement plan can give you back the moments you didn't let yourself enjoy. In truth, too many people reach their golden years still stuck in scarcity mode, still afraid to spend a few extra dollars on themselves. And tragically, some pass away with their savings untouched, only for it to be spent by others who didn't earn it. Let's be clear, we're not talking about reckless spending. We're talking about intentional joy. That $45 bottle of perfume you've always loved? Buy it. The steak dinner at your favorite restaurant? Order it. The trip to see the Grand Canyon or the Broadway show you've dreamed of? Book it. Time is no longer unlimited. One day your knees may not handle the hike, your hands may not steady a paintbrush, your energy may not keep up with that dream vacation. So do it now, not later. And if anyone dares to make you feel selfish for treating yourself, just smile and say, I've earned this. Because you have. Your joy is not a luxury. It's part of living fully. And after all these years of giving, you deserve to receive, without guilt, without apology, and with your whole heart. Say what's on your mind. You've earned the right to be heard. How many times in your life have you bitten your tongue to keep the peace? How many moments passed where you had something important to say, but swallowed it down out of fear of being too much, too honest, or too emotional? For decades, many of us were taught to smooth things over. Be polite. Don't rock the boat. We learned to nod along even when we disagreed, to smile when we wanted to cry, and to say it's fine when it really wasn't. And maybe back then that kept the peace. But let me ask you, at what cost? Because if there's one thing older adults often say they regret, it's this. I wish I had spoken up more. Spoken their truth, shared their feelings, said I love you when they had the chance, or that hurt when it did. At this stage in life, you've earned the right to speak honestly. That doesn't mean being rude or starting arguments. It means being real. If something bothers you, say so. If you disagree, it's okay to say I see things differently. If someone is crossing a boundary, you have every right to call it out with clarity, kindness, and confidence. And perhaps more importantly, it means saying the things that matter most. Don't assume your children, your friends, or your partner know how you feel. Tell them. Tell your daughter you're proud of her. Tell your old friend you still think about that road trip in '74. Tell your spouse, thank you for this life we built. Words unspoken don't just disappear, they stay with us. So speak now while you still have the chance. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And after a lifetime of holding back, it's time to let your truth out, gently, powerfully, and without apology. Finally, put yourself first. Let's be real. If you've made it to 70, you've probably spent most of your life putting other people first. You raised kids, supported your spouse, showed up for your job, your church, your neighbors. You cooked meals, folded laundry, ran errands, remembered birthdays, and held everyone else together. You were the glue, the rock, the one people leaned on. But somewhere along the way, you got left behind in your own story. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you did something just for you? Not for your grandkids, not for your partner, not because you should, but simply because it brought you joy? Here's a truth that's hard to hear. There is no prize for self-sacrifice, no medal for putting yourself last, no blue ribbon for exhaustion. And here's the good news. It's not too late to turn that around. Now is the time to finally say, I matter too. If you want to take an art class, do it. If you've always dreamed of traveling, even if it's just a weekend road trip 100 miles away, start planning. If your body aches for rest, listen. If your heart craves adventure, listen to that too. Some people may not understand this new version of you, the one who says no sometimes, who puts their needs ahead of others, who dares to prioritize peace, joy, and self-respect. But guess what? That's their problem, not yours. You've done your part. You've given and given and given. Now it's your turn to receive. Self-prioritization doesn't mean being selfish. It means being whole. It means living on your terms. Even if it starts with something as small as sitting down with a cup of tea and reading for 30 uninterrupted minutes. You don't have to ask permission anymore. You've earned the right to put yourself first. Final reflection. This is your time. Don't let it slip away. If you've made it this far in life, you've weathered storms, carried others on your back, and given more of yourself than most people will ever realize. But now, right now, is your season. Not for holding back. Not for waiting until the time is right. That time is now. The truth is, no one else is going to hand you permission to live boldly, rest fully, or savor joy without guilt. That permission has to come from you, and you are more than worthy of it. So, go ahead, pour the good wine. Sleep past sunrise. Wear the outfit that makes you feel radiant. Speak your truth with grace and certainty. Say yes to what lights you up and no to what drains your soul. And most of all, let the world see the version of you that's been patiently waiting behind responsibility and sacrifice. Because this chapter, it's yours. Not your children's, not your spouse's, not your past's, yours. And it's not too late to make it the most meaningful one yet. You haven't come this far just to fade into the background. You've come this far to finally shine. So live louder, laugh deeper, rest unapologetically. And for once in your life, put your joy at the top of the list. You've earned it, every single bit of it. And you don't need anyone's permission, only your own.